Hey guys, welcome back to Wide Gaming. How are we all doing? So today I'm just going to show you a quick 10 top tips and tricks. So this game is quite heavy, there's a lot to go from the start, so it's quite hard to know what you're doing as soon as you start. So hopefully these tips and tricks will get you through. If they help at all, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop some likes and share the video, it will really help. So let's get started. First of all, I want to go over the skills. So these are the few skills you want to start off with. That you don't have to, but it helps you out quite a lot. So you want to go with science, engineering, lockpicking and dialogue skills. They're the first ones you want to get. You want to get them up to around 20 if you can. Engineering is best to have at 20 because it unlocks the ability to dismantle weapons and repair them on the go, so you haven't got to keep going back to your workbench, so it just helps you get through a bit quicker rather than going backwards and forwards. And science also lets you use workbenches to upgrade weapons when it's at level 20. Obviously you're going to get there eventually, but the sooner you do that, the sooner you can upgrade and do little bits with your guns. Lockpick as well, that's another one you want to have at 20 from the start, because it saves what they're called mag picks. Now these things are quite hard to come by, and anything that requires one mag pick is then free with the lockpick 20 skill. So the higher you get it, the better off obviously, but you start off at 20, it helps you from the start. And the next thing you want to invest in is dialogue. Dialogue is a big part of this game. You will spend most of your time talking to people, so the higher the skills early on, the better off you're going to get. Especially persuade, lie and intimidate, the main ones. So like when you're having a conversation with someone, it will open up extra bits you can say. You can lie or persuade people to do certain things. So when you're mid-conversation, you can tell someone's lying to your face. If you don't have a high enough persuade skill, they won't tell you the truth, so therefore that conversation can't carry on. Well, you can carry on, but you won't get what you want out of it. So it's good to get them done nice and early. It helps you out a lot. Yes. So obviously we've just gone over the dialogue and the skills you want to start off with, but next is these base skill unlocks. Now every 20 points in a skill you will unlock obviously what's here. It depends what you want to build into, but obviously I like using ranged weapons, so I've gone into things like that instead of melee. So I will be getting novice unlock TTD location hit effects. I can't seem to say that straight off, it really annoys me. TTD blah blah blah. But yeah, so take note and read everything. Take your time, go through it properly and see what you want to build your character up to be. Each thing has their own little bracket. And another thing to take note of is at the start of the game, obviously you can click these buttons here to upgrade all three in the little tree. But when these numbers get to 50, it's individual, so you won't be able to click that button to upgrade all three. You'll have to use individual points to upgrade each one. So take that note for later on in the game, so you know what you want to get into and what you want to build up to later, for your character to be at as end game. And it's also good to take note of these little numbers here. So obviously this is 27 because I've got extra from my companion, but obviously it's at 21 there, but if it was at 19 and it was up to 25 in the brackets, that wouldn't count on this base skill unlock. So you need to have these main numbers at their 20s and that will go up. So whatever your companion's doing, it will still increase these base stats, but it will not increase the skill unlocks. So make sure you're exploring. I've just been wandering around, I followed this river, I've not gone on any paths or roads, and there's a little cave here, which when you go inside, there's a lot of little items to loot. There's some funky bits. I know it's not full open world, but there are 6 or 7, I think it is, sections, which all have their own little bits in. Obviously, see, we've got some mag picks, which are quite hard to come by, and there's a safe here, so we'll open that. The journal. So that will help me out later on. That's probably something I could sell. And if you read the little things as well, some of them are quite funny. So not all of them, but a lot of them are quite good. But yeah, like I said, just explore, take your time, enjoy it, look around. Obviously the game is stunning, so take it all in, don't rush. Make sure you're picking everything up. Well, if you're like me, I like to make sure I've got everything, I can pick everything up, so if you don't need things, you can always dismantle them. Especially if you've got the engineer skill higher up, you can dismantle things on the go, which is quite good. But if you don't need it, your companion might. So it's always good to take note of things like that. Check on your companion, see what they need. So it's always good just to be full, I'd say. Some people might like to play it light, but you know, if you're like me, pick everything up, you might need it. Especially things like mag picks. Make sure, because this game is so heavily based on dialogue, you talk to everyone you can. And these guys here, like it says there, corporate guard, that means talk to them, nothing will really happen. So what you want to look out for is named people. So there's one, resident, not really going to get much out of those two. But if they got a name, you might get a quest. You might get something, and it opens up the little dialogue box here. There you go. So you can talk to these guys, you might learn something, they might give you a quest, it might be something that they give you that will help you with another quest.
Technically, I'm employed
so it's always good to make sure you're chatting away, and even when it says here, like you say there, leave conversation, sometimes there'll be other options. So make sure you go through all the options first, just to get the very most out of everything. If you don't, you might miss something, you might miss a quest, so yeah, keep it in mind. This game's heavily based on chatting, so chat away. A lot of the time, they've got some quite funny things that they say. I've picked up a few bits already, which is quite hilarious, so just keep note of that. So, companions. Make sure you're chatting to them, keeping them happy, and even if you don't like them, they can be swapped out, but they are a great asset to have early on in the game, especially when you don't have... See, there we go, looking back from the start, perception, let's come in.
He's just interested in fixing
They're always
stuff.
good to chat to. They give you additional bonuses as well, so make sure you keep that in mind, see what bonuses they've got. But as I said early on, they don't upgrade the actual base skill trees. They do give you the base bonuses, but they don't upgrade the skill trees. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that, and if you don't want them, you can always swap them out for a better companion later on. Make sure your companion's level and everything else that they've got is up to scratch. So here, obviously you can see Parvati, or however you say her name. Make sure she's got some good weapons. Don't leave them hanging, don't let them have all the crap, because that won't really do you much good. Whereas if they've got some decent weapons, they will help you out much more in a firefight. So keep an eye on what they've got, and make sure they're up to the same level as you. So upgrade their equipment, upgrade their armour. It's always good to have them at the same base level as you, so they can help you in combat. Obviously, if you're sending them out with a load of crap, they're going to die, or just not be much help at all. And with their perks, make sure you focus on that as well. Give them some stuff, keep them up there, don't let them drop down. Another good perk to get for the start for your companion is Deadly Demonstrations, which gives you XP for their kills, so it will level you up nice and quickly. And finally, the last little tip we've got is weapon effects. Now, all weapons have different effects and different damage types. So, first of all, we'll go over the damage types. There's 5 different ones, and they are physical, which is basic damage. Plasma damage is good against unarmor, like flesh, things like that. Basically disintegrates people. Most enemies are weak to plasma damage, especially robots and things. You've got corrosion damage, shock damage, and N-ray damage. M-ray damage is the beastie damage. It gets through most armor. It's not the greatest against machines and things like that, though. And then we have got the effects, which are quite good. There's a few more effects, so I will... Oh, there they are. You've got the stagger, which just knocks them back a little bit. So just make sure you know... You've got weaken as well. Sorry, I was cutting myself short there. Weaken, knockdown, stun, burn, bleed, knockout, and then execute. I don't know what execute does. And knockout is pretty explanatory, so it's bleed, burn, and stun. But just take note of who you're going up against and what effects they will be more susceptible to. If you use your quick time, which is that one, obviously when there's an enemy there, it pops up and tells you what they are most liable for, what damage they're weakest to, and it also increases the effect of that damage when you're in that mode. So make sure you use it. It's good to use, and it's quite helpful. And also, one last thing before we go. Oh, it's not coming up now. No. There we go. On the right hand side, you've got the little descriptions. Make sure you read them because they're all quite funny. Some of them will have you giggling away. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure you drop a like, share the video, leave some comments, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back again soon with more Outer Worlds. Peace!